My best friend sabotaged me. Our parents have known each other since before we were born. My parents moved across the street from her parents. Her mom baked my mom and dad a cake and they've been friends ever since. They even got pregnant around the same time and gave birth a few months apart. Tori and I literally grew up together and have always been close. We were inseparable as kids and have always called each other sisters. Freshman year of high school, her dad got a job opportunity and they ended up moving to Cali. We were in Ohio at the time, so it was kind of hard to maintain a long-distance friendship because of the time difference and everything that was going on in our lives, but we still remained close, alternating visiting each other during our summer breaks. We applied and got into the same college after high school, so we were finally reunited at college as we dormed together. Things were perfect. Present day, we are both married to our husbands. We live in the same town. Our husbands are best friends as well. Due to this virus, I was laid off from my telemarketing job. It was fine at first because my husband was able to pick up a few extra shifts and maintain our household, but his overtime started getting cut, so now we were only living off of one income and have had to use our savings to pay a few bills. As of recently, I've been looking for a new job and it's been hard because no one has been hiring. Tori and I get together once every other week for drinks. I mentioned to her that I was having a hard time job searching and she suggested that I apply at her job and that she would put in a good word for me and I'd be hired. We talked about how fun it would be to work together. Tori is in a similar field as I was. Not exactly the same, but she said that I'd have no problem getting in and that they'd train me for whatever I didn't know. Later that week, I applied and was called a few days later for a phone interview. We went over my application and she asked how I was referred to the job. I mentioned Tori and she genuinely sounded excited and bragged about what a great employee Tori is and how if she was referring me, I'd probably be a perfect fit. We finished up the phone interview and she said that she would ask Tori a few follow-up questions, but that the job was pretty much mine and to be expecting a call back by a certain day. I texted Tori telling her how things went and thanking her immensely. However, the day came that I was supposed to hear something back and I haven't heard anything. At Tori and I's get together, I asked her if her boss ever asked her about me and Tori said no and that she would let me know if she did. 2 more weeks passed and still no word. I asked Tori again and all she said was that they decided to hire someone else because they had more experience, so I dropped it after that. A month later and I am finally back working and my husband and I are getting back on our feet. I suggested that we invite Tori and her husband over for dinner and my husband immediately said no. I've noticed that my husband and her husband haven't been talking. I asked him about it and he brushed it off. I asked Tori about it at our get-together and she brushed it off as well. However, I knew that was odd as they talked almost daily and got together weekly for beer and poker with a few other friends, and that hasn't been happening either. I decided to press the issue more with my husband and he finally broke down and said that the reason why he and Matt weren't speaking was because of Tori. He explained that the job Tori said she would speak up for me to get, she actually did the opposite. I asked what he meant and he explained that her boss actually did ask Tori about me, and she said a few things to deter her from hiring me. I asked why he kept this from me for so long and he said it was better that I didn't know because he didn't want to ruin our friendship. Matt actually told him what Tori did and he told Matt to tell Tori to do the right thing. They got into an argument and that's why they weren't speaking. I called Tori and she admitted that my husband was telling the truth and said the reason why she didn't vouch for me was because she didn't want things to change between us because at work she was a completely different person, whatever that meant. So after thinking about asking me to apply, she decided to change her mind but couldn't bring herself to tell me that. I was absolutely disgusted. She knew how much my husband and I were struggling and decided to sabotage my chance at getting a job for no real reason. I hung up and blocked her number. It's been nearly a month and we haven't talked yet. However, my husband and her husband are back on speaking terms and my husband wants me to make up with Tori and let it go so that things can go back to how they were. However, I'm not sure if they can. I feel like I've been betrayed. Do I have a right to feel how I feel? Or is it time to move on and let bygones be bygones? I admit that I do miss her, but I feel like I can't trust her anymore. Had she told me the truth from the beginning, I would have been okay, but she lied to my face on multiple occasions.